Hey mommies, how are you? I hope that all of you are doing awesome. And I wanted to do a special video today talking about teething, just because I've gone through it pretty bad lately, not me personally, but Isaac. And I was kind of like with Samuel, it was so different. The teething period, he started like around 5 months and they came in kind of gradually. And to be really honest with you, he had a little bit of like irritation and a little bit of, actually had a lot of drooling. But once I got the amber necklace, he was absolutely fine. And we've kept the amber necklace ever since. He never takes it off. His tuna, and I think he thinks it's like part of his body. It must be like an extra limb that nobody else has. So he's fine with it, and it really made a huge difference. So I swear by the amber necklaces. And of course he had like teething rings and washcloths and things like that. I tried, kind of different things, and they all seemed to help. But with Isaac, it's been completely different. He gets really aggravated and cranky and irritated, and I can see his gums like super inflamed, and it's been a completely different process. It's been a very painful process for him. In fact, he's even had like the extra things that are not so common, but they do happen. Like he's had like a very loose stool, obviously from all the drooling that causes like an indigestion, and then you can get that. And also he's had like a very low fever, not high, just kind of like high 90s, almost 100 and 0.05, so kind of a light fever. So that isn't very common. Most kids don't have such a hard time with teething, but a lot of them do. And then what kind of tends to be a little bit aggravating is that, well, for me especially, is that I get a lot of people tell me, oh, try the teething rings, try the washcloth, try this, try that. And I've tried all of those things, and they do kind of tend to maybe work a little bit. But when you're in the middle of the night and it's 2 o'clock in the morning and your baby is screaming his head off and he's really in pain, and the one thing for me is if I offer the boob and he says no and he's like pushing it away, something is seriously wrong. My child does not do that. He has boob for everything. It's his #1 comfort thing. So when he's kind of refusing that too, and he doesn't want anything and he's just kind of moving around everywhere, then I get kind of worried. So the pediatrician, what they recommend is this Tylenol for infants. So that's a big no-no for me. I didn't give my son Tylenol, my first son Samuel, till he was like close to being 2, and it was because he had a really high fever. And we wanted to do something about it straight away. So that's the only time that I had used Tylenol before for my infant. So when the pediatrician recommended it for Isaac, I really didn't want to do that. I don't want to get him accustomed to the Tylenol too. But obviously, like I said, at night, in the middle of the night, you kind of have to do something too. And especially when it's been a few nights in a row, it can be very hard, and it can be stressful for you as a mom to see your baby going through that. So I started looking around for other things to help. So what I'm going to talk about now is in extreme situations with teething. I have lots of other tips if your baby's going through teething and has some discomfort, light discomfort, and you maybe want to help. But today what I'm going to talk about is in extreme situations, and especially if your baby's getting up at night, if it's night after night and they have a lot of tooth breaking in. Usually when it's like 1 or 2, they can deal with it. But when it's like 5 or 7, like Isaac right now, it's obviously very hard to deal with for them and for you, because you're going through like lots of nights of sleep deprived, and you see your baby super aggravated. And in my case, where he doesn't even want to take the boob, he's eating very little, and I can just tell he's in a lot of pain. He's not like his usual self. So what I wanted to talk about was something that I've tried that is different, and I wanted to kind of see what you moms thought about it, and if you've maybe tried it before, because it has worked for me. So I think it's a really good option and a really good alternative. They're called Camilia. You can purchase them on all sorts of like natural health stores and like Whole Foods, Amazon too, and they come in these little dosages like this. So they're like super convenient and easy to use. I have tried it and it's like tasteless. So it's a lot better than also the Tylenol for that just that reason also, because the Tylenol is like super sweet. My baby's not used to drinking or eating anything like that, so this is kind of tasteless. And they come in a pack of like 30 dosages. You can there's no danger in like overdosing or anything like that. You can give your baby it. Usually in my situation, within about 10 minutes, I can already see the difference. He like starts to calm down and is a lot more relaxed, and we don't have any of the agitation where he's moving his arms and putting everything like this in his mouth. So he tends to calm down pretty quickly. And then you can give an extra dosage if after about 15 minutes your baby's still the same, so you can give another 2 dosages. And then what they recommend is that you don't give any more than 9 dosages in a 24-hour period. So it's pretty safe to use for that reason too. And it's composed of chamomile, which is actually really good for helping with inflammation and of course teething pain. And it also has something called Chinese rhubarb, which helps with the indigestion problems that teething, the drooling, excess drooling can cause on the digestive system. So it helps for that reason too. So I've tried it, like I said, for maybe about 2 weeks now, because I had a friend too that her little girl was going through that too, and she was having to use Tylenol all the time, and she did not want to do that, obviously. So if you want to go for a more like holistic approach, something that is more natural, that is med-free, then this is something that I've tried and has worked for me pretty good. Like I said, I don't tend to give it to him all the time because I tend to kind of not want to do anything with medicines, although this is not medicine. Like I said, it's something completely natural with herbs. But I tend to kind of want to, I don't want my child to get used to having like a numbing, you know, something to numb the pain all the time, because they have to get used to teething. It's going to be a long process of teething, so it's important that your baby kind of learns to come accustomed to it, and find different ways of kind of easing the relief. Like I said, the chewing, the teething toys or washcloth. Something else that I've tried, which is another good tip, is at night before he goes to bed, so that, because it usually tends to get worse at night, is I'll give him like a really cold yogurt, or one of the like apple puree that I do, whichever flavor that they like, or pear or peach, and you put it in the refrigerator so it gets really cold. I put it right in the back of the refrigerator. It's not frozen, but it's really, really cold, and he really tends to like that too. So that's like an extra tip, something that I've done differently that has also helped. But I just wanted to share that with you, mommy. So if you are going through this teething process and it's been kind of harder than you expected, it's really normal. It's not the usual. Most kids can kind of deal with it, but it does happen. And when it happens that it's very severe, it can be really stressful, and especially when people are telling you, no, don't worry about it, he'll get over it, or, you know, or try teething toys. I have like a gazillion teething toys and nothing's helping. So this is a good alternative that I just mentioned. And if you have any tips or anything else that you've tried, let me know. I'd love to hear about that. And you have a wonderful day, mommies. Bye.